cut through the football BS.
Why on earth are we trying to buy back someone like Nathan Ake, who we let go 5 years ago? This is talkSPORT. Now, following the signing of Raheem Sterling, Chelsea are going to turn their attention to their defensive issues. Kalidou Koulibaly, we understand, is in London this morning for his medical. Nathan Ake soon to follow as well. That's the expectation anyway. And Presnel Kimpembe has scooted onto the radar for Chelsea. Now, spending could end up reaching around about £130 million just on centre-backs alone as they look to try and replace Christensen and Rudiger and others. Now, this is despite the fact that in the not-too-distant past, they've allowed Fikayo Tomori to go to AC Milan, Mark Guehi to go to Crystal Palace, and now highly rated youngster Levi Colwill was expected to go out of the club as well, maybe to Leicester or elsewhere. Surely, at some point, Simon, Todd Bowley's going to sit down and look at what's happened over the last 5 years and go, oh, hold on a second, we've spent this much money on centre-backs, but we've sold this much money on centre-backs. Mm-hmm. We've raised this money by selling centre-backs who are now in the England team. Mm-hmm. Why on earth are we trying to buy back someone like Nathan Ake, who we let go 5 years ago?
He may well do. I mean, obviously, he will not be asking for the sins of a father to be visited on the pseudo-son, which he is not. So he won't be looking at the judgment call saying that Chelsea, what they did in the past, is some way reflective of the situation as it stands, because that wasn't on his watch. The reality is, a season ago, we were talking about how wonderfully Chelsea had done to be able to recruit so much money back from their youth development policies to be able to fuel their way forward. Look, in every football club, you're going to produce a lot of players in the academy, especially the elite football clubs, where you sort of pillage other people's academies because you've got the lure and luster to be able to drag a lot of talent into your environments. And there are times, and clearly there are times, whether it's Romelu Lukaku, whether it's Mohamed Salah, or whether it's a Kevin De Bruyne, where players come into your academy, they don't cut the grade for that particular manager at that particular time, and out they go somewhere else and seemingly make a fool of you because they've gone on and been successful.
Well, it's a problem for Chelsea, and are they maybe hoarding too much talent? Because ultimately you can't service and resource all their needs. Ultimately, you can't give them the first-team experience that they want. They're not happy to sit around and go on loan like they used to be.
But that is the sausage factory mentality, isn't it? You put them on the top, they come out the bottom. That is just the byproduct of having academies and having elite football clubs where you look to hoover up a lot of the talent, and some of it will slip through the cracks, and some of it cracks.
Well,
and some
in
of
the
it will
last year, Tammy Abraham, Mark Guehi, Fikayo Tomori, all of whom have been playing for England, have left the club. Tariq Lamptey, who's going to now declare for Ghana, Tino Livramento. They could do with some of those players now, couldn't they?
Well, they're playing for certain clubs. You know, Mark Guehi playing for Crystal Palace is not the same as playing for Chelsea, with a different level of expectations. So whilst he's landed in the England side, is he going to be an England player full stop and be a dominant England player? We will see.
Tomorrow's playing for AC Milan, winning the Scudetto.
Yep. Listen, I understand that there's arguments to be made. Tammy Abraham was marginalised, and my view on Tammy Abraham was ridiculed by people because I said that he could play at the top level and he could play for some of the top clubs.
Well, he would have done better than Romelu Lukaku, you would have thought, this year.
But he didn't do better than Romelu Lukaku whilst Romelu Lukaku was in Italy, did he? Because Lukaku scored goals for fun in Italy. And Tammy's gone over there and done what I thought he would do, which is scored a lot of goals. But there's an argument that suggests that by being in Italy, it's an easier place to score goals. I don't subscribe to that view, but a lot of people do. And if you talk to a lot of the pros that sit in this room opposite me, whether it's Danny Murphy, Trevor Sinclair or Martin Keown, they'll tell you that scoring goals in Italy is easier than scoring goals in England. So the Tammy Abraham one is as much about the fact that he wasn't going to be given opportunities, so he elected to go out the door as much as he was pushed out the door. These other ones are decisions that are being made at certain times in certain people's careers. Now, let's argue about Chelsea. Let's have a look at Chelsea and say, aren't they the most successful team over the last 20 years of having won the most trophies?
Them and Manchester City now, I think.
Okay, well then but both on a similar model, which they have an unbridled amount of finances to be able to build that.
Has that success actually masked the fact that, you know, maybe the club wasn't being as well run as many people thought it was?
Well, it wasn't, was it? Because it owed its owner 1.5 billion quid. If you consider that in economic terms being well run, then it's not, is it?
Economic terms, yesterday it was revealed that they are the biggest losers from the COVID pandemic, £205 million, the biggest losses in the Premier League over that period.
Okay.
With Arsenal and Everton, who also had suffering nine-figure losses.
But you've got to look at losses and how they're calculated under COVID pandemic, because there's a lot of very strange losses that are allowed, like the depreciation of the transfer market as an allowable adjustment. Because ultimately,
either way, there's a gap to bridge there.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I'm not sure that Chelsea's ownership model is crying right now, is it? We are bleeding our hearts for them. They don't seem to be overly concerned about it, because they built a team, whether we like it or we don't, that's been incredibly successful based upon huge injections of cash from an owner that changed the direction of the Premier League, in my mind, for the worse, because he created hyperinflation, but that's a different discussion. Chelsea built up a stockpile of young players that got themselves sanctioned a few years ago about their conduct in terms of how they use solicitation to be able to get players to come and join their academy. But the bottom line is that Chelsea, and we must look at the successes as well. Let's have a look at the successes that come out of their academy.
There's been a lot of successes that come out of the academy.
Trevor Chalobah, you talk about
Mason Mount.
So there's as many successes, and you are going to find, when you have this embarrassment of riches inside your academy, that there are not spaces and places for everybody. So rather than focus on what they haven't done, we should be equally as motivated to focus on what they have done.
But it is a quirk of the transfer market that they have managed to acquire Kevin De Bruyne and sold him before he became at his peak.
Yeah.
They have acquired Mohamed Salah.
That's managers.
And acquired him, and he didn't reach his peak at Chelsea. They have acquired Romelu Lukaku. They then sold him, then bought him back again. It didn't work.
Yeah.
And now they're doing the same with Nathan Ake.
Well,
that is a quirk of the transfer market. That those five players.
But it isn't. It's a quirk of the industry.
Or is it a quirk of Chelsea?
It's a quirk of the industry, because if you get this embarrassment of riches at certain times in your development, you've got certain managers in place that are dealing with the here and now and don't want. There's a lot of managers that don't want to deal with potential. They want to deal with the here and now.
David Luiz, they bought and sold him.
Well,
again.
We can all find arguments. And, I can make an argument going back 15, 20 years ago that I sold Clinton Morrison to Birmingham, took Andrew Johnson as a free transfer. One of them ended in the England team, scoring a record amount of goals for the clubs, and I got him on a free transfer. The transfer market can be quirky. Clubs can look at situations in the moment and go, that's not working for me, and it goes and works somewhere else. And everyone goes, how could someone have not seen that obvious person in the room? And of course, when you've got unprecedented successes like Kevin De Bruyne, Mohamed Salah, and other players that have gone out and really hit the heights. But a lot of things in life, Sam, are about timing and about who's in situ. We know
patience and judgment as well.
Well, yeah, but football isn't renowned for its patience, and neither are its fans. If you're a football club that wants instantaneous success and you expect it from players and from the club itself, if you're a Chelsea, you don't suspect that you want to win something in 2 years' time. You want to win something in the here and now. And if the ownership model, which a lot of people and Chelsea fans themselves have irrespective of how it ended, right, with Roman Abramovich, he was a hero to them for 19 years, right, up until the point that he wasn't anymore. And a lot of them still he is. But he piled enormous amounts of money into that football club and changed the direction, and underneath it was an aspiration to get success in the here and now, to cut through the football BS that you have to give managers an inordinate amount of time to create stability. What he said was, I give you unprecedented resources, go win for me, and go win for me now. And what managers then do is go, well, I'm not going to look into my academy for me to win now. I'm going to look at what I can buy off the shelf, plug it in and play. And that means there's a casualty to some extent for younger players that have got the talent, aren't quite ready, and are not going to sit in the reserves or in the development squad now and say, I'll wait for my time. And that's the challenge of the transfer market.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.